25 minutes. Keep that open. Let me see if it's up here. Yes. All right. Have you guys started working on your, hopefully you've started working on your homework. It's due on Thursday, by the way. So, this particular problem, which I think you all should have, is a little bit daunting, and you really have to read the instructions pretty carefully. And I want to give you some tips on it as well. So this one, it gives you information about individual employees, what their salary is, any deductions that they have. Now you can see they've given you the total amount of Social Security tax, Medicare tax, state and local income taxes that have been withheld. This is for the whole year. What you're doing with this information is you're filling out the W-2 form. They have not given you federal income taxes withheld. You've got to calculate that. Okay? And you've got to calculate it based on this information over here. So for example, we've got Kelly Roach, single, filing status, makes $715 per week. I think they mentioned earlier this is a weekly pay. Let's see.
Didn't you say it right below her name?
Oh, per week, yeah. Okay. I think everybody's per week. Yes. All right, $715 per week. She has a 401k plan deduction of $50 a week. 401k is a retirement plan that is pre-tax for federal income tax purposes. What we're going to do is calculate on a per pay basis what her withholding is, and then we have to multiply that by 52 weeks in a year. Okay? So for Kelly, $715, and then we're going to subtract this $50 per week. $715. So on a weekly basis is $665. $665 a week. All right. So we're going to go to the tables. The new tables, wage bracket method. 2020 or later. You guys all remember this? So she's single? I should have written down let me write down the 4. So got our 4 factors. Income, so here's 665. Frequency, weekly. Let's see. I think does it say it's standard withholding? No checkbox? I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I think it doesn't say.
Yeah.
It doesn't say?
You're supposed to assume that it's overall.
I'm sorry?
You're just supposed to assume it's overall.
Okay. Is that what, did I say that at the beginning?
Well, it doesn't, but it worked.
Okay, so that's the last one, checkbox. No. All right, and why am I drawing a blank? Oh, filing status. So she is single. All right. So here's our taxable pay. And then we'll use this to figure out her withholding. Wage bracket method, $665 weekly.
So 665, again, we fall right on the line, so we use the second line. So I think it's $44.
But we're not done, because this is for a W-2 and this is going to be for the entire year. She was paid 52 times. $22.88.
So we've got that information. Oh, did they already do this one? Ah. All right, this is the one that they give us as an example. So we can check, we do have it correct. But what we're gonna have to enter in on all of these is box 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to enter in all the boxes that we need to enter in. So you can see with this employee, so $34,580 is the amount, total amount of wages, tips, or other compensation,
Which would be 665 times 52.
I'm assuming that's correct. $34,580, that's where they get that number. Now you can see Social Security wages are different because that 401k, yeah, is not pre-tax for Social Security and Medicare tax purposes. So, Social Security and one little trick, and you guys could probably figure this out as well, is just to take the Social Security tax withheld and divide it by the tax rate. You could get there that way. I wouldn't call it cheating, just utilizing an available shortcut. Same thing with the Medicare tax, so $539.24 divided by the tax rate. So 37.1. Oh, that's not quite right though. Why is that? 539.24. Oops. Oops, divided by 0.0145. Interesting. Don't do that then. It might not work. I don't know why they did that. Maybe rounding over the course of the year. I don't know. Anyway, so then you're gonna have to figure out the Social Security wages. Now, some of this information they've already given you, like the state income taxes withheld, local income taxes withheld, and when we were going through this, I didn't realize they gave you that information. So we were trying to figure out, Kathy and I were looking at this problem together, and we were trying to figure out some of these amounts down here to enter, and we were calculating them, or I was calculating them. But they give you that information, or at least they give you how much was withheld. So again, you could probably back into it because I think it's a flat state tax rate. But anyway, all right, so actually let's look at Ralph, since that one's not filled in. All right, so we got Ralph.
He's going to be weekly and
As well. Okay, so Ralph is married filing jointly, and his total income here, so $785, right? This dependent care payment, what we have determined, is an amount that the employer actually paid on their behalf. It is not for a dependent care plan where it's being withheld from the employee's pay. Okay, because it's not affecting the taxable wages. So that's just kind of an FYI. All right, so he has $70 a week in 401k withheld. So his taxable pay for federal income tax purposes, $785 minus the 70, so we're at $715. $715, that's the amount of taxable wages for federal income tax purposes. So if we take this $715, if we just take this one box at a time, $715 times 52 weeks, bless you. $37,180. This is our box one. We'll fill this in a minute. All right. Our box two is going to be the Social Security taxes. So $785, this is not pre-tax for Social Security tax purposes, the $70 a week. So we're going to take the $785 times 52 is going to be the amount of taxable Social Security wages. This is going to be box three. $48.20. It's going to be the same thing for box 5 for our Medicare wages. And then they've given us the amounts for, sorry, we're looking at Ralph here. Social Security tax, Medicare tax withheld, state income tax withheld, and local income tax withheld. I think there is some cost of excess group life insurance. I know there's one problem here that has group life insurance included in the problem. They give you some information about that. The cost of excess group term life insurance is added to gross wages for federal income tax, Social Security, and Medicare, not for state, apparently. Employers withhold OASI and HI tax on these amounts, but are not required to withhold federal income tax. So it's included in taxable wages, but the withholding is not. There's no withholding. The cost is not added to gross wages for state and local taxes, therefore it is not subject to those taxes. So there's kind of a little additional information there for at least one. So this employee here has some group term life insurance, Kenneth Ford, FYI. All right, so let's look at Ralph's. Let's see how we do here. So $37,180, $48.20, $48.20, and then we have federal. We haven't figured out the federal income tax withheld yet, but Social Security tax withheld they've given us. This is where having two screens would be really helpful. So $25, $30, $84. There. Medicare tax withheld, they've also given us $591.76. Okay, we've got to calculate our federal income tax withheld here. So I'm going to use this information to determine how much was withheld on a weekly basis. We'll go back to our table. So weekly, married filing jointly, 715 is what we're going to use. Again, that's right on the line, so we're going to use the second one. Married filing jointly, I think, is the first one. So standard withholding, so $19 times 52, and this is our box 2 that we're calculating. $988. Okay. Dependent care benefits, they gave us $950 payment that needs to go in there. There's no tips, so we don't have to do anything with that. Now, box 12, we have to enter in the amount of 401k that was contributed. So, let's see, where's our codes? Did they give us our codes? I think that it must be D.
They do not give the codes.
What's that?
They do not give the codes.
Okay. I think this one's D because they've got D under the 401k up here. I can't remember them off the top of my head. All right, so we had $70 a week, 52 weeks, $36.40. We have nothing for these. Now, state wages, I believe, are the same as the federal wages. There's no difference there because they're not doing anything with the group term life insurance. So, in this case, $37,180. Local would be the same, $37,180. State income tax, they gave us this information. $1,253.20. And then the local, how much is the local? $1,547. Retirement plan, gonna have to check it. There's no checkbox on here, they just got the drop down, but he's part of a retirement plan. I don't think he has anything in box 14, because we just got the dependent care payment, we listed that. We'll put none. Let's check this out. See how we did. Oh, they don't want me to put anything there? Even though they give you none as an option, they don't want you to put anything. Oh, okay, so the local wages and the state wages are not correct. Okay, did they give us additional information? Maybe it's not cost of goods. Right. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. So they are not. They're using the Social Security wages here, 48, which is weird, by the way. But maybe that's how it is in, let's look that up, in Pennsylvania. No, okay. Well, no, wait, that's not what I asked. Is retirement contribution. Our retirement contributions. Yeah, the income, I'm talking about the deduction. Gross compensation. must be, it could be that it's, no, that's not either. Okay, so what did I do wrong here? And I know that we talked about this, Kathy, and I can't remember even though we just did it.
Honestly, I don't remember either.
I'm sorry?
I said honestly, I don't remember either.
Or did I check my work on it? Oh, I didn't click check my work. Okay. So, it's the same as the Social Security wages in this case. So you've got to make sure that you're calculating the pre-tax and post-tax amounts correctly. So union dues are not pre-tax. These would not affect Social Security taxes, state or local taxes, federal, any of the federal taxes, but it is something that would have to be listed under other. And you can see there's one, union dues. So don't forget to enter that one in. Cost of group term life insurance. So this $262.75 has to be added to federally taxable wages. Also, they've got $100 a week of 401k, so you're going to subtract that from federally taxable wages. So you've got one item here that you're going to add and one that you're going to subtract. But for state and local purposes, you want to follow these rules. This is where they're talking about whether it's added to wages or not. I think it's, anyway, follow those rules when you're looking at the group term life insurance. And then the $100, obviously the 401k, you're gonna withhold that. Don't forget to check off the retirement amount, the retirement plan. There's one that has a code. Let's see, is it this one? 2 codes. I don't know what code for so the W-2 codes, you can look them up too, like. All right, so here's a list of different codes. So here, code C, taxable cost of group term life insurance over $50,000. So that code for this, so it's code C. So that 262.75. Where am I? There. And then this one, so the other code, so I think this is, oh, the 401k, that's a code D. But you can just look up online. So B, C and D, contributions to 401k plan. DD is cost of employer-sponsored health coverage. I don't think any of these problems, W-2s, have health insurance. They just have life insurance. Educational assistance payments, job required, that's not going to do anything. Job required educational, it's not going to add to their taxable income. And then $50 a week for the 401k. Questions about this? Hopefully that gives you a little bit of head start on how those are filled out. On Thursday, try and get your homework done as much as possible before you come to class on Thursday, so that if you have some questions, I can answer them. But then we'll finish up. We'll just take a quick look at Social Security, and then we'll start Chapter 5 as well. All right. See ya.